Good evening. City Council is now in session. Be advised that Council Member Rector will not be present this evening and has been excused. Will you please stand for the invocation by Council Member Butler Barlow, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Let us pray. Inspire each of us to work more faithfully for justice and dignity of life everywhere. We remember the hurts of exclusion and prejudice, but we know that you can raise our vision above all barriers and give us wisdom and courage to make this a better world. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Freedom of Information Act certification is required at this time. Madam Clerk, will you please present the resolution for consideration?
A resolution certifying the closed meeting of February 5th, 2025, pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3712, is presented for Council's consideration at this time. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Suffolk hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements of Virginia law, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the City Council of the City of Suffolk in the closed meeting.
Motion is in order. What is the pleasure of council? Council Member Williams.
Move for approval.
Got a motion for approval from Council Member Williams. Council Member Butler Barlow.
Second.
Second from Council Member Butler Barlow. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Member Bennett.
Yes.
Council Member Butler Barlow.
Yes.
Council Member Johnson.
Yes.
Council Member Williams.
Yes.
Council Member Wright. Yes. Vice Mayor Ward.
Yes.
Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
We'll now move to approval of the minutes from the October 2nd, 2024 work session and regular meeting. And a motion would be in order. Council Member Williams.
Move for approval.
Got a motion for approval from Council Member Williams. Council Member Bennett.
Second.
Second from Council Member Bennett. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Member Bennett.
Yes.
Council Member Butler Barlow.
Yes.
Council Member Johnson.
Yes.
Council Member Williams.
Yes.
Council Member Wright. Vice Mayor Ward.
Yes.
Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 6-0.
We do have one special presentation this evening, which is a resolution recognizing Roger Fawcett for his years of service to the City of Suffolk. Madam Clerk, please present the resolution for consideration.
Whereas Roger W. Fawcett was first elected to the Suffolk City Council in 2012 as the Sleepy Hole Borough Representative and re-elected in 2016 and 2020, and whereas during his tenure on the Suffolk City Council, Councilmember Fawcett served as a member of the city's Land Use, Housing, and Transportation Standing Committee, Public Safety Standing Committee, and as a liaison to the Suffolk Redevelopment and Housing Authority. And whereas he also served as vice chair of the Virginia Municipal League Legislative Committee, a member of the Virginia Municipal League's Transportation Committee, and was active in numerous other local, regional, and state boards and commissions. And whereas the Suffolk City Council extends its appreciation to Councilmember Roger W. Fawcett for his steadfast commitment to public service and wishes him the best with all of his future endeavors. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Suffolk to be affixed this 5th day of February in the year of our Lord, 2025.
Council, a resolution has been presented for consideration. Council Member Bennett.
Move for approval.
A motion for approval, Council Member Bennett. Council Member Johnson.
Second.
Second from Council Member Johnson. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett.
Yes.
Councilmember Butler Barlow.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Councilmember Wright. Vice Mayor Ward.
Yes.
Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
I don't think anybody got a frame that nice. Did you do this or something? But I just want to take a moment. It's my pleasure to be able to present this certificate of recognition to Councilman Fawcett, my friend Roger Fawcett, who I had the privilege of working with for the last 12 years. 12 years is a long time. I mean, it took me that long to get through 8th grade, so I know how long that is. I mean, 12 years of dedicated service. I don't think most individuals don't know how much time is put in to what all those folks do up there on that dais. You see us every now and then at a meeting, but you don't see what goes on during the week behind the scenes. And I'm very appreciative of all the service that Councilman Fawcett has afforded our city, and he wants to do some more, so he's really a glutton for punishment. So, yeah, congratulations. If you'd like to say something?
First off, thank you, Mayor Duman and members of council, Vice Mayor Ward, and all the members that are here tonight on the dais. First off, I can't tell you how appreciative I am of this recognition. I can tell you that it was 12 years that went by very, very quick. I sat back and tried to remember a lot of the things that we have done, I have done or have done with you as a group, or some of the council members that were previously here during my tenure on as a member of City Council. You know, we made a lot of achievements, and I still see today the fruits of those achievements that are out there. And I don't apologize to anybody or anything for anything that I may have approved, done, or otherwise during my tenure, because Suffolk is a great city. It will continue to be a great city. You have good leadership. The council just needs to do their part to help the leadership of this city to move forward, and I suspect that you'll do that. I thank each and every one of you for being a part, allowing me to be a part of the membership here, and particularly the voters, my constituents out there, as much as the entire city of Suffolk, because I don't look at it as if it was just a borough. I look at it as if it was the city that I represented. For Mayor Duman, I want to thank you personally. You've been my friend for the last, I can't know how many years. We got a little to know each other before that a little bit. I appreciate your guidance, your steadfast information, and helping me along the way. We might have had some times on the phone where we didn't agree with one another on some things, but we find a common ground. You're a great mayor. You're one of the best mayors I've worked with, and I appreciate everything you're doing, what you will do, and your dedication toward this city is just, it's, people don't even realize, as you said earlier. But anyway, I don't want to tie you up tonight. I know you want to go home early. It's a little different from standing on this side of the podium, looking at the dais from this type of position, but I may come back and stand here a little often when I got something I don't like that y'all are doing, or maybe that you are doing. So you may be looking for me in the future. But then again, I want to thank each and every one of you. Call me anytime. I'd like to hear from you. My wife would have been here tonight. Unfortunately, she's had a serious injury. She's in recovery. So we hope that, she'll get back on her feet pretty soon. She kind of bummed out she wanted to come tonight, but it wasn't possible to get her in here. So anyway, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
At this time, we will consider the removal of items from the consent agenda and adoption of the entire agenda as presented. Removal of any item from the consent agenda would only be necessary if any member of City Council wishes to vote on a specific item separately, and a motion would be required. Questions and requests for information on specific agenda items can be addressed during the consideration of the consent agenda after the agenda speakers. If any member of City Council wishes to remove any item from the consent agenda to be voted on separately, a motion would be appropriate at this time. Hearing none, therefore, a motion is in order to adopt the agenda as presented. What is the pleasure of City Council? Councilmember Johnson.
Accept the consent agenda as presented.
Got a motion for approval from Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Bennett? Second from Councilmember Bennett. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett? Yes. Councilmember Butler Barlow? Yes. Councilmember Johnson? Yes. Councilmember Williams? Yes. Councilmember Wright? Vice Mayor Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Duman?
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
Madam Clerk, do we have any agenda speakers at this time? And if so, please explain the guidelines.
We have no agenda speakers at this time.
Madam Clerk, would you please present the items for consideration?
Consent agenda item number 7, an ordinance to amend Article 3, Boards, Committees, Commissions, Division 14 Standing Committees of the Code of the City of Suffolk to add the City Nation Committee. Consent agenda item number 8, an ordinance to name the Downtown Suffolk Library. Consent agenda item number 9, an ordinance to accept and appropriate funds from the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services Operation Ceasefire Grant Program for the Suffolk Commonwealth's Attorney's Office. And consent agenda item number 10, an ordinance to accept and appropriate funds from the Virginia Office of Emergency Medical Services Rescue Squad Assistance Fund for the Suffolk Department of Fire and Rescue.
Mr. Manager, will you please provide an overview of the items?
Yes, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. Regards to item 7, the City of Suffolk and the Nonsectarian Indian Nation established a City Nation Committee as part of the Memorandum of Understanding regarding the transfer of portions of the Lone Star Lakes property to the nation. This is an ordinance amending Division 14 of the Code of the City of Suffolk to memorialize the City Nation Committee. In regards to item number 8, City Council is aware that the new library located at 325 West Washington Street is currently under construction, is anticipated to be completed in early 2026. For consideration is an ordinance to name the new library as the Downtown Suffolk Library. In regards to item 9, the city has received $326,450 from the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services Operation Ceasefire Grant Program in support of the Suffolk Commonwealth Attorney's Office. The funding will be used to support the salaries of an assistant Commonwealth attorney and a part-time legal assistant. Adoption of this ordinance will increase the revenues and expenditures of the Consolidated Grants Fund budget by the $326,450. There is no local match. In regards to item 10, the city is in receipt of $150,000 from the Virginia Office Emergency Medical Services Rescue Squad Assistance Fund in support of the Department of Fire and Rescue. The funding will be used to purchase 5 Stryker LifePack monitor defibrillators. Adoption of this ordinance will increase the revenues and expenditures of the Consolidated Grants Fund budget by the $150,000. There is a local cash match in the amount of $150,000, which is provided for in the Consolidated Grants Fund budget for fiscal year 24-25.
If there are no questions about the items, a motion would be in order to approve the consent agenda as presented. Councilmember Williams.
Approve.
Got a motion for approval from Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Butler Barlow.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Butler Barlow. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Yes. Councilmember Butler Barlow.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Williams. Yes. Councilmember Wright. Yes. Vice Mayor Ward.
Yes.
Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
We have no public hearings this evening, nor ordinance or resolutions. We do have one staff report, in regards to the Western Tidewater Community Services Board Mental Health Services. Mr. Manager, will you please provide an overview?
Yes, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, with us this evening, the Executive Director of the Western Tidewater Community Service Board, Mr. Brandon Rogers. Mr. Rogers will speak on the mental health services available to the City of Suffolk. Director Rogers.
Hi, good evening. Mayor Duman, Vice Mayor Ward, City Council members, City Manager, thank you for the opportunity to come and report on mental health services here in the City of Suffolk. I was named the Executive Director of Western Tidewater Community Services Board in October, so you've got me 4 months into the job, but I've been here with the board for the last 20 years, and appreciate the opportunity to come and share a few things with you about what we're doing, as well as to seek some feedback from you, if there is any, on how we can continue to improve our services for the city. I wanted to first start by letting you know that there are 40 community services boards or behavioral health authorities that make up the public safety net for mental health and developmental and substance abuse services in our Commonwealth. We represent the City of Suffolk, the City of Franklin, Southampton County, and Isle of Wight County here at Western Tidewater. I'm going to highlight a few of our services that are offered out of our clinic. I could talk to you for days probably about the individualized services that we offer to a number of different populations. However, what I want to make sure that I drive home is that there's an easy way to come in and access services through our central intake program called Same Day Access, where you see a clinician and are assessed for whatever services are best suited for you and that you desire to participate in on that same day. So as I walk through, you can see on this first slide, this is a picture of our Suffolk Counseling Center. It is located right behind the Wawa near Obici Hospital, and this is our primary entry point into services for the City of Suffolk. Same-day access is a program that is part of STEP Virginia, and a number of the services that I'll talk about here today are part of STEP Virginia, which is an effort by the Commonwealth to standardize the services that are available at all CSBs. We have taken this as an opportunity to expand and grow the way that we can provide care to our communities. And when you walk into same-day access, which is available Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. We cut off at 2 p.m. because most of the assessments take about 2 hours, and so we want to get folks out of there before the end of the day. But you can walk in any time and be screened for services, as well as get an assessment from a licensed clinician. That's the way that you primarily enter into services, and they'll look at developmental needs, substance abuse needs, and mental health needs. Outpatient services are what many people will traditionally think about when you see a counselor. This used to be the lay on the couch, tell me about all the problems that you've had in your past life, and we'll resolve it. It's a lot more laid back and takes many forms nowadays. We have group therapy, we have individual sessions, and we work with families directly. There's services available for both mental health and substance abuse, and we have counselors that specialize in everything from art therapy and to working with individuals that have autism spectrum or other developmental needs. Medical services include work with our psychiatrists and our nurse practitioners that will specifically look at how medications can help to offset the symptoms of mental illness or help with cessation of substance use. Our practitioners work out of a number of clinics throughout our region and also provide telehealth care for those individuals that may find it more convenient to not have to come into an office to receive that care. Also have a number of nurses and support that work with coordinating with local primary care offices and or specialists, depending on what the co-occurring needs are for individuals. In regards to case management, one of the things that I will say is that sometimes our behavioral health system is a little hard to navigate, and it can be especially hard to navigate when cognition or when having ordered thought processes can be an impairment to seeking those services. So case managers are there to be an advocate for the individual that receives care, as well as to help guide through the system and make sure that the supports are organized in a way that makes sense for the individual. They serve to monitor care and ensure that providers that the individual is engaged with are doing their job, as well as to advocate for funding and entitlements that the individual may be available or may be eligible to receive. SKIP is our school counseling and intervention program, and I always make sure that I highlight this one because we have a staff member at every single one of Suffolk Public Schools, and that takes the form of case management and outpatient therapy. And the reason that we do this is it's a lot easier sometimes to go to where individuals are versus waiting for them to come to us. And in Skip, that's specifically true. We've partnered well with Suffolk Public Schools. In recent years, we have staff that are trained in cognitive behavioral intervention for trauma in schools that works not only with the children, but also with teachers to understand the impacts of trauma and some of the mental health needs that our students have, and ensure that the students can remain productive in their school day, and we work directly with the families as well. Our ACT, or Assertive Community Treatment Team, is a wraparound team that's available for individuals that have serious mental illness and need a structure that supports essentially a hospital outside of the hospital. So in this model, everything from our psychiatrist or nurse practitioner to the therapist, mental health support providers, peer support specialists actually will go directly to the individual in the community rather than expecting the individual to come into the clinic. So they'll do home visits, they'll provide medication monitoring and maintenance, and even check in to make sure an individual remains compliant with medications at their appropriate time. And the Haven is probably one of the services or the programming areas that I'm most excited to talk about. I've spoken about this before in front of City Council. It is a 24/7 walk-in center that is there to support individuals that are in crisis in our community. And so those crises may look like an individual that is feeling overwhelmed with depression and anxiety and may even have some suicidal ideation, to individuals that are experiencing signs of psychosis and or just some transient feelings of loss and difficulty coping with things. Our staff around the clock there include nurse practitioners, peer support specialists, as well as licensed clinicians that will work with an individual for up to 23 hours. We're excited that that very soon we hope to have a crisis stabilization unit with up to 16 beds available there if the individual's crisis cannot be resolved within that first 23 hours, and they would have up to 2 weeks to stay without having to enter into a psychiatric hospital where we know that there's a statewide shortage of beds available for that service. One other thing to note about the Haven is that we have lumped our substance abuse, our permanent supportive housing, and some other vocational and day support programming into that same campus as a means to make sure that there's a one-stop kind of shop for individuals and they're not having to go multiple places. This is located on Godwin Boulevard in the Chuckatuck area. If you're familiar with the Dominion building, we're right next door. And one of the things that we do offer is transportation to and from the site for individuals that can't get there on their own. So we recognize that it's not really within walking distance of a lot of the areas in the city, and so we'll go out and pick anybody up and take them back home 24 hours a day. Our prevention services are available as well, and includes a number of community-based trainings that we offer, and I'm sorry that text is pretty small on the slide up on the screen, but we do offer trainings such as mental health first aid, which is an 8-hour course that is exactly what it sounds like, first aid, but working with individuals with mental health and behavioral health challenges. We provide safe talk, adverse childhood experiences, and a number of other trainings. Adverse childhood experiences is one that I recommend highly for anybody. And you don't have to be somebody that's working directly with children. What we know there is that children having a relationship with one trusted adult is a significant protective factor in damage from a traumatic experience that they may have, or multiple traumatic experiences that they have. That means that each and every one of you that sits here today can be a difference in a child's life just by developing and maintaining that trusted relationship. And that's something that I don't know that we always think about, but it makes a huge impact on individuals as they grow. We also will take these trainings directly to you. So you're going to see in the next couple of slides where we've got trainings already booked and they're available for the public to come in, but we're also available on a request basis. So churches, schools, employers, city council, free to request a training anytime. These are all provided at no charge on behalf of the Community Services Board. You'll see that we offer our facilities as available for places or for meetings for Alcoholics Anonymous. This is actually driven by the participants in the group, but our facilities used for that. And we also offer family engagement workshops. Here are some of the trainings that I was speaking about that are scheduled. Those are available. There's also registration opportunities directly on our website for folks to be able to engage in any of that. A number of these are hosted at our administrative office in Harborview Boulevard up in northern Suffolk. But as I said, we will come to you, and we also offer some of them virtually, including the ACEs training. These are some other trainings and support groups. That includes Revive, which is an opioid overdose and naloxone education program. Offer that free of charge. And Together in Pride support group for individuals that are LGBTQIA+. That population specifically has a higher risk of suicide and other risk factors, and so we offer that as a support group to individuals online. Nurturing Parenting is another program that we offer that's an evidence-based practice to help grow families and help them to be stronger and build more resiliency. And finally, I want to put a little plug in. There's a Western Tidewater Community Coalition, and while we sponsor that, it's comprised of nearly 100 or 150 individuals that gather on a relatively regular basis and talk about the services that are available in our community and opportunities to improve supports. We host that at our Harborview location, and upcoming dates are listed on the slide there of March 28th and May 30th. We just had a recent one, and I think it was attended by about 96 individuals, so we had a pretty full conference room on that day. And then finally, I'm going to talk about, we have a town hall upcoming in northern Suffolk on February 18th. I want to thank the mayor, the vice mayor, and several other people, including Councilman Johnson and some others in this room that attended a town hall last night. There were, I think, about 38 individuals in attendance, and we talked about mental health and behavioral health needs throughout the city, as well as some developmental services. And we're going to continue to do this. One of our initiatives is to seek more public feedback in regards to how our service system can improve, and this is the best opportunity for that. So I would encourage anybody that's able to attend February 18th, 6:30 to 8. You will hear me talk for a very short amount of time there, less time than I'm spending talking here tonight, and then the rest of it will be to hear feedback and to get input from our community. And last slide is just some ways to get started, including our same-day access screening number. If you can't make it in for an appointment to just walk in, there's also a number to call. And I'm going to apologize because when I went through the slides, I caught that we put the wrong zip code for our commercial lane office. It's 23434, but otherwise the address is correct. So I want to thank you just for the opportunity to talk about that. There's a lot of other specialty services. I could talk about geriatric care, TBI, dementia, and other supports that we provide in the community. But I think that's a lot of jargon that I have to understand, and all of you don't have to understand each one of those things. What I think is important to share with you and with the public is that we're here to provide help, and we'll figure out what the right thing is with input from whoever shows up at the door. Our job is to tease out those those services and supports, but there's a variety of care available for our citizens. And part of what I think we are endeavoring to do over the next couple of years is to make sure that we make that simple to understand and more known to the community. So I wanted to offer an opportunity if there were any questions or if there was any feedback that I could provide that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rogers. Council, questions, comments? Council Member Johnson?
And I just want to make a comment to Mr. Rogers, because I was one of those that went last night, and I've had several conversations with him. I've been on council for almost 10 years, maybe, and I always knew Western Tidewater was out there, but I don't think I ever recognized what they provide for the citizens of this city and what we have that's available to us. We're in a mental crisis in this country today, and we all need to be aware of where it's going and what we can do. We have to be our brother's keepers, and this service is remarkable that it's available to all of us. And I don't think our citizens understand exactly what it is. He has, I'm sorry, I'm talking, I'm not asking questions, but
That's okay.
I'm going to talk for a second. He has a staff of 800 people that are there just to serve the citizens of this city and the surrounding area. And I don't think we recognize that very often. So hopefully this council can be a little bit of a platform to help keep our people informed, stay in touch with Western Tidewater, and to make a difference for the middle state of our country and of our nation and whatever. But that's what I'm so excited about. I'm excited because I think this gentleman's going to do a remarkable job for us. He's brand new, and his staff, just the ones I met last night, were remarkable. And what I'd like to do, though, is to challenge this council to have a meeting and go spend 8 hours with them and do the mental first aid training. What a remarkable thing that we all could be on the street providing first aid for people that are in a state of need. So hopefully some of us on council can do that at some point, because I do think it's an amazing. And I, for one, am here to help Western Tidewater whenever we can help them. These 16 beds they're pushing forward right now are going to be a huge thing for us. And hopefully they can jump through all the hoops and get it built fairly quickly. And I'd just like to say thank you. Thank you for being here. And anything we can do to help you, I'm here for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council, any other questions or comments? Vice Mayor Ward?
Yes, Mr. Rouse, I'd like to thank you for coming. It's well overdue, and we had this conversation, me and Councilman Johnson, with you, and we really appreciate the time that you gave me and Councilman Johnson. And somewhat I wasn't satisfied about some of the information I didn't know, and there was a lot. And in the meeting, we discussed that, and I think that you gave us good answers and so forth. To not even only that, gave me encouragement that, like Councilman Johnson said, I'm surprised. I didn't know this, and by not knowing it just went through me. I just wasn't satisfied with where things are going. I even talked with some of the workers that work with you, and they did a good job trying to explain me some things that I had to see for myself. And like I said last night, I did attend, and I was surprised to see the amount of groups and organizations you do have under your belt. You know how I feel. I said what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. It's just bottom line. The rest of my adult life, I had thought about it last night. I'm going to put effort for this mental illness that's what's going on around our country, in our city. I'm going to try to learn much as I can. So you can put me down for that workshop. I'll be there. You don't have to challenge. I'll be there. I'm one of the guys. The first time it's open, just let me know. I'm going to be there for 8 hours. And I look at here, you have the caregiver. That's one of the things that I would like to see more people get involved in that situation, because some of the caregivers, the time that they have, they go through it. I mean, really go through it to see what's going on, to be active, be involved, and they need help. So like I said, I'm looking at this, I'm gonna study this, and I'm going through it. Like I said, I'm really impressed, even with some of the organizations I didn't know and some of the questions they asked, and you answered them, but it was good to see that you have a caring group. I didn't know you had 800 people, but like last night, I sat back and watched some of the questions were asked. That you can almost tell they had concern, and that's what's important. You can have a job, but don't like your job. You gotta get involved. You gotta want to be there, for different reasons, I know, but you gotta want to be there because people need help. People need help. They are sick, and they need meds. They need things like that, and we have to get involved and know what's going on. What's happening. All of them not violent. They just need help. And like I said, it's a stigma. I'm just telling all the people that have family or friends and that, throw that stigma in the garbage. Don't worry about that. Don't let that bother you. Don't let that stop you. And you said last night, and I like what you said. Like I said, you want to get involved with the community, go outside. Like I said, and I'm said again, like it's a campaign.
Yep.
Go to them. You got churches, and I promise you I'm going to give you a couple of church organizations, and I think the churches in Suffolk will gladly be a part of this group, of your people to help. So like I said, thank you for coming. I really appreciate you coming. I remember the last time you came, a couple of years ago, I was hard on you because I was upset.
Yeah.
So I'm not one who fake it. I don't fake it. And you seen how we had a good meeting with me and Councilman Johnson. We were really happy that we went. It took a while, but we did go, and God got a way of doing things at the right time for me to go at that particular time. And I thank Councilman Johnson for going with me. He had to hold me, you know, he knew why he went. I told him why he had to be there. He had a situation, but I want him there more for support, for we can support each other. So like I said, if I can do anything, just let me know. I'll do the best I can. Sometimes I can move mountains, so you just give me a call, and you know. And I said again, because I'm not ashamed, I said, I want Suffolk to be the model of mental illness in this area, that they know we take care of our people. I've been here like 12 years, and I shared that with you. I see some of the people that be walking on East Washington Street, and then I don't have to, but in a couple of months I don't see them, I'll be thinking about where they at. I don't know if they're sick or not. So, and like the recent couple of years, I got involved with some of the people that is in it. And, you know, they gave me some answers. They talked with me, and I talked with them. And I appreciate that because I feel the people that I talk to, their heart is really in it. They really care, and that's what my concern is. So I'm going to look over this, and like I said, you gave me a number. I'm going to call you, and I will be at one of them workshops. There might be more than one, but I'm going to be there.
All right.
First in line, you can put my name down tonight. I'll be there. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Council, any other questions or comments?
Can I
Go
share real
ahead,
quick?
Randy.
Just one thing, I want to say thank you for recognizing our staff. A human services organization can only be good, built on the backs of good humans, and I've said that to my staff, and that's really the pride that we have. You know, I can take the heat for anything where we've got gaps, but our staff work really hard, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We do residential programming. You know, they're in the trenches, and I appreciate you recognizing their passion because it's true. That's really what makes the organization. So I just want to say thank you for that. And around stigma, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I don't live without insulin. None of you guys would tell me to not go to my doctor to get my insulin and to make sure that I'm taking care of myself the way I'm supposed to. Mental illness is no different. It's a life-threatening illness that places people at risk every day, and there is no shame in going and getting help and treatment for that, for substance abuse, or any other need that you have. Just because it's your brain instead of your pancreas, it doesn't matter. Make sure that you encourage folks to get the help when they need it. We're always going to be there, and I appreciate the opportunity just to talk to all of you, and I appreciate the passion that comes from the council.
Just a quick comment. What's really amazing to me is the scope of the services that you provide. I mean, it's from one spectrum all the way to the other for youth, adults. Really amazing. I've got a couple questions. Specifically, what is the adverse childhood experiences under community engagement? Could you explain that to me?
Yes. Yeah, that is a training that is available for anybody to take. And it focuses on understanding the impact of a traumatic experience during childhood, and in particular, the multiple traumatic experiences that can sometimes pile up. And so that could be abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. It could be shaming and bullying that happens online and in social media. It could be any of those experiences that impact a child's development. And it teaches protective factors, including how developing relationships, trusting and caring relationships with adults and with other community members, excuse me, can help to protect that child from the adverse impact that those experiences have. What we know is that as you add those experiences up, it's much more likely that an individual will develop mental health symptoms later in life because of the compounding nature of those traumatic experiences. So it helps to remove the child from those traumatic events and develop protective factors to keep those those conditions from developing later in life and preserving that child's capacity to grow and develop as we would want any child to grow.
Okay, my other question, well, I got two more questions. The mental health first aid, it does, so if I'm not mistaken, so that's a class that you take to be better educated as to how to interact with individuals that are having a mental health issue. Is this something that you would recommend for a family, if they had a family member with issues, to get the whole family to come to this type of thing? Do you see that very often, and what are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question. I don't know that we see a whole family come, but we usually see the caregiver, the one that's really looking for answers, that will come. And we get a lot of individuals that have that personal vested interest that will come in. We offer two different types of classes, one for adult mental health and one for children's mental health. They're very similar, but the youth mental health first aid does focus more on recognizing some of the symptoms that you would see in children. And if you think about it like the first aid class that we're used to taking for primary first aid, putting on Band-Aids, recognizing how to assess somebody head to toe, those kinds of things, it's the same thing for mental health. It's recognizing what are the symptoms that you see, how do you keep safe in an interaction, but also encourage an individual to seek treatment or supports, and what are some of those supports that are available in our community that an individual can engage with, and how do you get that help for somebody. And so it's a really great class for any layperson to better understand how they can make a difference with the individuals that they see, and certainly how to interact, and some good safe language and stigma breaking ideas that are very helpful.
Okay, my last question is, could you just briefly explain your relationship and how you work collaboratively, with city staff, be it the police department, the regional jail, and the services that you provide along with, city personnel?
Sure. So I'm going to start with police. So a lot of our interaction, unfortunately, with our police is when somebody's having the worst day of their life, and it required that a police officer help to engage that individual by taking them into custody under an emergency custody order for evaluation for a hospital. But there are a lot of good interactions that happen too, where our police participate in crisis intervention team training, which is a 40-hour class for law enforcement officers and first responders to recognize, again, signs and symptoms of mental illness, but also walk through role play and techniques to de-escalate those situations and leave an interaction with somebody that has mental illness, even if they are aggressive, with no injuries and with better outcomes for everybody, and to understand the supports that are available. And so oftentimes officers will take and hand out cards and help people voluntarily engage in behavioral health services so that they don't continue to run into issues with law enforcement. Because Chief Bowie can probably tell you, there's sometimes that they'll get repeated calls for individuals for trespassing. And they know it's an individual that right now is just not able to process what they're doing. And so a better way to handle that than to bring the trespass charges is maybe they can engage in a voluntary behavioral health treatment. We can help them work through whatever's preventing that cognition. We obviously partner with Suffolk Fire and Rescue on Mark 1, which is our Marcus Alert Co-Response Team, and we have a staff that rides along with a community paramedic, and they do everything from responding to crises to doing follow-up for overdoses and providing supports in the home. We've worked regularly with Suffolk Department of Social Services around individuals that need benefits, as well as abuse and neglect cases, and just looking for care. CPMT and FAPT, we participate and have members that sit on both of those teams to look at supports for children and their families. Let me think. There's a lot. The jail, we do some restoration work with the jail, as well as pre-screening for hospitalization out of the jail, and have had an opportunity recently to meet and talk with superintendent and a few others and work through some of the crises that end up criminalizing mental health, and how do we do a better job at impacting that and being preventive in that nature, so that we don't have more individuals in jail when really treatment would be a far better approach and a more cost-effective approach for the city and the state.
Okay, well, it's obvious when it comes to mental health, it does really take a village, if you will. It takes the whole community to be involved and you're an integral part of that, if not the largest part of that with what you do. Just, as the Vice Mayor said, it's just a matter of getting the word out. And, I mean, I'm semi-embarrassed. I didn't know, like I said, the scope of what you do, where you do, and how you do it, as close as I am. So I appreciate what you're doing, and as Councilman Johnson said, I think we're here to support you. When we're supporting you, we're supporting our citizens. So thank you very much. Council, any other last questions or comments? If not, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you. Available anytime that you need me.
Okay, we will now move to, let's see here. Okay, we'll move to motions. We do have a motion to schedule a public hearing to be held on February 19th, 2025, to receive public comment on the proposed fiscal year 2026-2035 capital improvements program and plan. And a motion would be in order. Councilmember Williams.
Move for approval.
They'll move approval. Councilmember Williams. Vice Mayor Ward.
Second.
Second from Vice Mayor Ward. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Yes. Councilmember Barlow. Yes. Councilmember Johnson. Yes. Councilmember Williams. Yes. Councilmember Wright. Vice Mayor Ward. Yes. Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
We have a motion to schedule a city council work session for February 19th, 2025 at 4 p.m. unless canceled by the mayor and city manager, and a motion would be in order. Councilmember Butler Barlow.
So moved.
Got a motion for approval. Councilmember Butler Barlow. Councilmember Williams. Second from Councilmember Williams. Any discussion of the motion? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Yes. Councilmember Butler Barlow. Yes. Councilmember Johnson. Yes. Councilmember Williams. Yes. Councilmember Wright. Vice Mayor Ward. Yes. Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
We'll now move to non-agenda speakers. Madam Clerk, do we have any non-agenda speakers? And if so, please explain the guidelines.
We have no non-agenda speakers this evening.
Wow. Okay, we'll now move to new business. Madam Clerk, do we have any additions to tonight's agenda?
Following individuals have been nominated for appointment to the respective boards and commissions. The Economic Development Authority of the City of Suffolk, the Sleepy Hollow Borough representative, the nominee is Dr. Leslie Martin, and that would be effective on March 1st, 2025. There are also two additional nominations: the Suffolk Redevelopment and Housing Authority Board of Commissioners, Julpina G. Hill, and the Tidewater Emergency Medical Services Council, Battalion Chief Keith Johnson with Suffolk Fire and Rescue Department.
Council, a motion would be in order. Councilmember Bennett.
Move for approval.
A motion for approval from Councilmember Bennett. Councilmember Johnson. Second from Councilmember Johnson. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Yes. Councilmember Butler Barlow. Yes. Councilmember Johnson. Yes. Councilmember Williams. Yes. Councilmember Wright. Yes. Vice Mayor Ward.
Yes.
Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
Do we have any new business items that require the action of City Council? Hearing none, we'll move to announcements and comments. And at this time, I'll ask if Media and Community Relations Director Jennifer Moore has any announcements.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council, City Manager. I'll start the announcements off with a reminder that the City of Suffolk will observe President's Day on Monday, February 17th, and city offices will be closed. Normal operations will resume on Tuesday, February 18th at 8:30 a.m. There is no interruption to trash or recycling schedules, and Suffolk Transit will operate on their normal schedule. And exciting news from the Economic Development Department as they welcome Julia Hilligas as the Agricultural Specialist. Julia has held positions with the Virginia Dare Soil and Water Conservation District, Hampton Roads Planning District Commission, and most recently with the City of Virginia Beach coordinating their Agricultural Reserve Program. Julia holds a bachelor's in Rhetoric and Communication Studies from the University of Virginia and an MPA from Old Dominion University. Working for the City of Suffolk, she will be responsible for building relationships with Suffolk's agricultural community, forestry, and horticulture businesses while promoting local products, retail efforts, and agricultural tourism. Please welcome Julia. She is here tonight, and welcome to Team Suffolk. And more announcements from the Economic Development Department as they share that Pet Supplies Plus held a ribbon-cutting ceremony on January 18th at its newest location on North Main Street. Pet Supplies Plus brings an array of pet services to Suffolk, including a self-service dog washing station, grooming, live fish, and small pets. And the Suffolk Humane Society celebrated its grand reopening on January 24th, which showcased multiple renovations, including new floors, doors, a new lobby area, and a renovated catio for the cats to lounge outside and get some sun during their cat naps. Be on the lookout for upcoming ribbon cuttings across the city to include Flicker Sticks on February 8th and Glow Fiber's grand opening on February 13th. Suffolk Public Works would like to advise motorists that the preliminary work for the Pittman Town Bridge replacement is underway. This bridge spans over Mill Swamp, located on Pittman Town Road in the southwestern part of the city. A detour will be in effect during the construction period, which is expected to be completed in late 2025. Suffolk Public Works and VDOT would like to advise motorists that the right lane closures on Route 58 eastbound are in place from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The eastbound lane will reopen each day for morning rush hour from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. The closures are part of the SIPSA interchange project, which are necessary to safely facilitate materials and supply deliveries that require large equipment to unload in support of the project's ongoing shoulder strengthening work. For more information on this project, visit vdotvirginia.gov. And Suffolk Transit is excited to share that in observance of Transit Equity Day on Monday, February 10th, all fares will be free. Transit Equity Day is a national day of action dedicated to honoring Rosa Parks and advocating for equitable access to public transportation. Citizens are invited to take advantage of free bus and paratransit rides available throughout Suffolk Transit on that day. For more information, visit suffolktransit.org. Suffolk Parks and Rec is proud to share that Amari Young has been awarded the National Recreation and Parks Association's 30 Under 30 Award. Amari is recognized for her innovative and inclusive approach to therapeutic recreation and her efforts to impact individuals in the community, particularly those with disabilities. Amari's innovative vision has led to the creation of sensory canoeing and cultural cuisine. Her work reflects the belief that everyone, regardless of their background or abilities, deserves access to enriching recreational experiences. Congratulations, Amari. Suffolk Parks and Rec advises of a date change in the public engagement meeting for input on the East Washington corridor. The meeting will now take place at the East Suffolk Rec Center on Tuesday, February 25th from 3 to 7 p.m. Citizens will have the opportunity to discuss improvements regarding the old school maintenance building property on Freeney Avenue, improvements to the Phoenix Bank building, and landscaping and public art projects throughout the East Washington corridor. For more information, visit SuffolkParksandRecs.com. Suffolk Parks and Rec also advises that the playground at Lone Star Lakes Park will be temporarily closed beginning Wednesday, February 5th due to utility work in the area. The closure will remain in effect until further notice. Visitors are encouraged to explore other nearby playgrounds within the Suffolk Parks and Rec system. For more information, they can visit SuffolkParksandRec.com. And Keep Suffolk Beautiful is excited to announce a fun and creative upgrade to its popular library litter kit program, the Monster Trash Kits. Each kit now features its own quirky monster mascot, such as Trashzilla, Litter Critter, Bad Smelly Kelly, and more, designed to engage children and make cleanup efforts enjoyable for participants of all ages. The Monster Trash Kits are available for checkout through the Suffolk Public Libraries, and each kit can accommodate up to 4 participants. These kits are a fantastic way for families, friends, and neighbors to get involved in local cleanups with supplies including trash bags and tools necessary for tackling litter in parks, neighborhoods, and other public spaces. For more information or to learn how to get involved, visit suffolkva.us/litterkit. And Suffolk Public Library continues to celebrate Black History Month with several different events happening throughout the month, including jam sessions, community open mic, and Stepping to the Beat dance session. For more information on this or any other events on your screen, visit suffolkpubliclibrary.com. In the City of Suffolk Public Safety Committee would like to remind all residents of the Public Safety Portal. This online platform empowers our citizens to share their suggestions on community safety improvements and public safety matters. Users of the portal also have the option to submit anonymously. We do want to remind residents, however, that this portal is not intended for reporting criminal activity, and in the event of an emergency, to please dial 911. For more information on the Public Safety Committee and the portal, visit suffolkva.us. And lastly, on your screen are the various ways that residents and business can stay connected to the City of Suffolk. Thank you and have a great night.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Moore. Okay, we're now going to move on to comments and announcement from City Council, and we are going to start with Council Member Wright.
Well, good evening. First, I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the staff here at Suffolk, the City of Suffolk. I have been on board for a little over 30 days, and I'll tell you that I've received numerous requests from constituents, and I appreciate how promptly and efficiently you all, the staff, has worked to provide answers and solutions. And so your commitment and dedication and professionalism does not go unnoticed. I wanted to also take this opportunity to say that I'm making my rounds throughout the Sleepy Hollow Borough. I've already met with some of the homeowners associations, so if I haven't gotten to some of my community, I'm making my way there. But I'm looking forward to having meaningful conversations to find ways to ensure we improve the quality of life for our citizens. February is Black History Month, and I encourage everyone to take time to reflect on the achievements, contributions, and resilience of African Americans who have shaped our history and continue to strengthen our communities. I believe that understanding and appreciating our diverse backgrounds make us stronger as a city. So I encourage you to engage in some of the activities that are happening throughout the city. I want to close with this Maya Angelou quote. It's an indirect quote. When we come together in understanding and compassion, we create a world where everyone belongs. And my final comment is, fly, Eagles, fly, if you're going to watch Super Bowl this weekend. Thank you.
Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to start off by saying that welcome, Councilmember Wright. On January the 19th, I attended the Portsmouth Registered Beautician Association honoree banquet, where our very own Vice Mayor Ward was one of the honorees, and I wanted to congratulate you again, Vice Mayor Ward, on receiving your award. On January the 20th, 2025, I attended the annual Suffolk Citywide Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. Congratulations to Mr. Enoch Copeland and to all the honorees that received awards during this event. On January the 29th, I attended the groundbreaking for the Reed's Place community that will be located at 2540 East Washington Street. It's going to be a great asset to the East Washington Street corridor as well as the City of Suffolk. I'd like to offer my condolences to the family of Mr. Albert Council for their loss, and I want his family to know that they are in my prayers during these difficult times. Today, I attended Mrs. Catherine Kendrick Demerel, another pioneer and pillar of our community, celebration of life, and I wanted her family to know that I will continue to keep them in prayer. Just wanted to remind the citizens in the Wellerville Borough, I normally have 2 town hall community meetings each year. The first one is for the downtown area of the Wellerville Borough. The date is February the 18th. The time is 6 p.m., and it's going to be at the LW Center, and that address is 701 Old East Penner Street. Again, it starts at 6 p.m. on the 18th. And let me close by saying this. I was riding down the street last week, and I came to a stoplight, and I noticed a church marquee that said, "Don't let the crises that's going on around you create a crisis within you." And with that, I'll say good night.
Councilmember Butler Barlow.
Thank you, Mayor. First and foremost, I would like to formally welcome Julia Hillegas as our new full-time agriculture position. And I want to say that on her very first day it snowed. So her official start date was February 23rd, first day on the job. And she dove right in and came to the Ag Advisory Committee meeting, and it's a milestone moment for me, and I hope a milestone moment for the city that we finally have this position, and I look forward to all the good work that's going to come of it. I'm excited, and again, welcome. We're glad you're here, and I look forward to working with you. I want to say thank you to staff for the CIP presentation. It's very ambitious. It's impressive. We have a lot of good things in the works, and it's good to see. It's good to get an explanation of it, and I look forward to the public hearing when our citizens can make comments on it. To the folks in the Oakland section of Chuckatuck Borough, I want to say I'm excited that our project is finally underway, and we had a rough start with a water line break, but I appreciate the patience of everyone that was impacted by the boil water order, and I also appreciate staff and city manager's office for being very quick to provide water for the residents that were impacted. I think it was only 40 or 50 houses, but still. Hope everyone will bring all of their patience to the table as we go through this very ambitious, large project, and hope everyone will keep focused on the end result, which is going to be a big improvement for the community. Thanks to the Greater Oakland Chuckatuck Civic League for always being involved and being a good place to meet and talk about these issues. I'm looking forward to meeting with the Suffolk Peninsula Citizens Partnership, CPC. I always get their name wrong, but the Peninsula folks. I'm looking forward to meeting with you on Monday and getting a little bit more information from the northern end of the Chuckatuck Borough. And I also wanted to just close with the fact that we're celebrating Black History Month. Hope everyone will be engaged, read something that you didn't know before, and pay attention to all the opportunities that we have in the city to celebrate and to learn and to work together in our communities to make Suffolk a place that's welcoming and a good place to live and prosper for everyone in our community. And with that, I'll say goodnight.
Councilmember Bennett.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be very brief. Just want to make a couple of comments on Mr. Roger coming tonight to bring us the information on mental health. I was at the meeting as well last night, and there was quite a few of staff members there, but I was really hoping to see more of the community people there, because we need to really get the word to them and get them more involved, because we're in the community there to see a lot of stuff that goes on. We need to be a part of it and try to help wherever we can. So again, I think that it's a lot of information, but we have to get it out to the public. And I think getting it to the churches and civic organization and homeowners and everyone get involved, all the other fraternities and organizations that can help spread the word, because we all see it when we go up and down the streets, not only in Suffolk, it's in every city you go in. And it's an issue that is serious, and we need to make sure we try to do everything we can to assist in that cause. And the other thing I want to mention, we was presented this afternoon with the CIP. We're getting ready for the public hearing. It is online, and I hope people will go and take a look at that, So when the public hearing comes about and come up, they'll be able to be aware of what's going to take place, what the plans are for the next 5 years, so that they will give their input to council as a group. And instead of getting us one-on-one when you see us in the supermarket, you can bring it up here to all 8 of us and tell us at the same time what you're thinking. And that way, when we get ready to vote, we'll have all 8 of us to vote at the same time. So please go online, and I'm sure that they have them in the library. Well, they might have them all the libraries have a copy of them. So please take a look at that and be familiarize yourself with that, so that we'll get good input and communication about the CIP that's coming up. That's going to affect all of us. And the other thing with the Black History Month, I think is something that we all should be proud of and take. It's a lot going on. I see a lot of activities be taking place this month, and I hope we all be able to participate in some way to show our appreciation to what it's all about and what we're here trying to stay focused on and keep people aware of what is taking place. Thank you.
Councilmember Johnson.
I too would like to start off by recognizing Julia Hillegas, our new ag specialist. We are so excited to have you with us. She was at the ag meeting back in January, and very, very well received. Ag committee is moving ahead. They're getting ready to come before us at our next meeting to present the ag report for the year. I believe it's next meeting. Yes, I think it is. So there's good things going on in our city. I'd like to recognize the Holland Holy Neck Civic League meets at Laurel Hill Church. I was with them the other night. And in recognition of the month of February, where they want to just keep reminding the city of Suffolk and all of us that there is a historical school in at the southwestern site in the Holy Neck Borough that we need to recognize. And we talked a great deal the other night about that. It's the Rosenwald School in southwestern site, and that group is certainly hopeful that down the road something will happen to recognize that school and to recognize the community there in Holland. The Antique Show for the Art League's coming up, January 22nd, 23rd. That's this month. It's a nice event if you need an outing. To all the people that travel 58 and have talked to me on the phone this past month, we're getting closer. The road is getting closer. Please, folks, come out, drive carefully, and recognize that 58 is improving. The road has gotten better. And it's going to continue to get better as we go forward, but it's going to be postponed a little bit because it's taken longer than they thought. But have patience. You can still call me and complain. I can't fix it, but I can certainly recognize I travel it every day as well. And it's very, very disheartening because we're down to one lane, quite a bit of the road, different times of the day. But I'm encouraged because they promised me it will come to an end, and we'll all be very pleased when it does happen. I'm pushing the city and pushing everyone working on it to please try not to delay traffic any more than they have to keep our traffic moving in that sector of the city, because it is a busy road. One more thing, and I'm going to stop. No, I think that's it for tonight. But thank you for being here. We appreciate all of you for attending our meetings, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Ward.
Yes, I attend United Full Gospel Revival Center with Dallas Ellis, Pastor Ellis, and I thank him, and the congregation was so friendly and welcoming so much, and it's not the last time I would be there, and normally he come to city council, he want to be so much involved with the city of Suffolk, and he was saying some of the things he would like for us, seeking and help him with a couple of things he have going on around the church. And I said, just come and see, and we'll see. We do the best we can with that problem. I'd like to thank the City of Portsmouth and the Portsmouth Beautician Association for that honor. One of the things is the warmest event I ever went to, and they treated me so well. It was just a great attitude, atmosphere in there. And I thank Councilman Williams for coming along with Ms. Sybil. Thank you for coming. You always had a support, and I try to support you. So thank you for coming, and also thank the Edwards, Ms. Janice Edwards, Ms. Barbara Edwards, and one and only Mr. Johnny Edwards. So I thank them for coming, and the rest of my family. We had a couple of tables, and I really appreciate that. And like I try to tell my grandkids and my granddaughters and sons that what mostly I do now is for trying to make things better for you all. And that's one of the things I try to do with especially my grands and my family. So a lot of times it's not seen, but I know that the love is there with that. I want to ask City Manager Al, has there been any substantial changes in the Pewsville drainage project?
The project's under construction right now, and since the public hearing on the project or in the public information stuff, there's been no changes to the plans. It's the BMP's under construction. Storm drain is being installed on St. John Street, but there's been no substantial changes to that project.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I got a little letter of information stating it was. Thank you. Along with Councilman Williams and Councilman Rector, we visit Richmond, and we had a great opportunity. We sit and talk with Senator Jordan, Delegate Innes, and also Delegate Clark. And we had some real good conversations. All of them have a great interest in the city of Suffolk, and what I hear, they're doing a great job. So, Mayor, I just want to let you know the report with that was pretty well. We handled our business, and like I said, we had 3 good people up there. We asked a lot of questions, and we got a good response, and I think we were well satisfied with the work they was doing. And even some people said the lobbyists, they said she is she's very special, and she always welcome us and treat us. Now, also Nicole, and we got a good person there, and I like to talk about some of the things because she made sure we was on time and she was there the whole thing. And I like to thank her. Made things easy for us. Okay. Also attend the Holland Civic League along with Councilman Johnson. I asked him, could I come? He said, fine, and we had a good time. And, that's pretty good when we go different civic leagues. So we represent a borough, but we have all interest in the whole city. And they have a project there they want to, discuss. And I told him I think Councilman Johnson will do the best he can and what we can do. So I said he got my support, and we can see what can be done for the historical school. We just do what we can do. And like I said, I'm attached to that community. I know Mr. Copeland and Mr. Falk for years. I remember these 15, 20 years ago, they used to have a Christmas party, and we used to go there. So I've always been interested in that community. We're going to have a town hall meeting. I thank you for the Western Tidewater Community Board. I really appreciate that because they surprised me with a lot of things I learned yesterday. I also attend that, and a lot of things I didn't know. And a lot of times you open your mouth and don't know what's going on, and you'd be surprised. So I'm going to keep my mouth kind of quiet and attend and do things much as I can do. And I think, like I said, the meeting wasn't a lot of probably citizens, but the groups and all the departments. And I think I was very pleased with what was going on. So I'm looking forward and working along with Tidewater, especially Mr. Rogers. I think he did a good job. And me and Councilman Johnson had a meeting with him, like I said, and it lasted a good time. I think we both left pleased. So don't forget my area, Harbor View, February 18th, 6 o'clock. At a 725 Harbor View Boulevard, Suite 19. And I got 2 places to be, but I'll probably will extend myself. But like I said, I would like for y'all to come up there and see what's going on with the mental health issues and other things. With that, I'll say, God bless.
Okay, I'd like to start with sending my condolences to the family of Will McCarty. Mr. McCarty was on the Board of Supervisors at Isle of Wight for about 8 years, and Isle of Wight is also part of the Western Tidewater Regional Jail, and I served on the board with him for at least 7 years. I think that's how long he's been on there, but he was very, very active on the regional level and also the state level. He just completed his term as chairman of the Hampton Roads Planning and Transportation Organization. And his full-time job is he's the pastor of Healing Waters Worship Center in Carrollton. But he unexpectedly passed away at the age of 48 while he was on vacation. So I don't know, some things just don't make a whole lot of sense, but I guess the good Lord's got a plan. But he will be missed. He worked very hard, not only for Isle of Wight, but also for the regional jail and also the Hampton Roads region, so I know he'll be missed. We went through a few ribbon cuttings, Pets Plus. It's nice to have, a pet store with some size on this side of town, as well as, Humane Society. It really wasn't it was a reopening ribbon cutting of the Humane Society. Humane Society's been there for a while, but they've kind of reorganized, redid the building, just kind of regrouping. And if you haven't been by there, it's probably nicer than most folks' homes, especially if you want to adopt a cat. You can go by there. They don't have they do have a dog fostering program, but that's all. But you can adopt a cat there. Please stop by and check it out, right on Kings Fork Road, right down from Kings Fork Middle School. I also attended the citywide MLK celebration that was sponsored by Suffolk Chapter NAACP, and I want to thank Reverend Copeland for opening up his place of worship, Oak Grove Baptist Church, for that event. Redwood Smoke Shack, I don't know if anybody mentioned that, over on Route 17, it's where the old Bennis Creek Market is. They got some excellent barbecue and ribs, and I think it's Bob Roberts is the fellow's name that owns it. This is his 3rd store in Hampton Roads, and you may want to give it a couple of days because I understand there's been a line to get in there and they run out of food. They only cook so much food. So keep an eye on it, check it out, but it's another great addition to Route 17 and really for our city. I mean, we just got a little bit of everything, and once again, he's already in 2 cities and he decided to locate in Suffolk. So I think actions speak louder than words. I stopped by my first Downtown Advisory Committee meeting. I know they've had several, but I was in the area and I just stuck my head in there. That's a dedicated group of individuals sitting around the table, and I'm sure that's going to be they'll be instrumental as we move the downtown master plan forward and come up with initiatives going to continue to attract citizens and businesses to downtown, because that's what we want to do. We want to make our downtown a destination. We want folks to wake up in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and Portsmouth and say, hey, let's go to Suffolk downtown tonight and grab something to eat or do some shopping. So I think you're going to be amazed at how quickly downtown continues to progress. And we've had some huge steps with the Festival Park, the library right down the street, so we're rolling in that direction. I, too, attended the groundbreaking at Reed's Place over on East Washington Street, 70-plus condos, and that's going to be attainable housing. So they'll be within some folks' price range. They're going to be very well done, and they're very well located, so we need some more of that. Just putting it out there to anybody who's interested. It's also a type of housing that we need all throughout our city. Western Tidewater Community Services Board, I won't belabor that, but I was at the meeting last night also, and my hat's off to them, because what they say, what they do is just, the scope of what they do is just unbelievable. So with that, I'll go to my quote of the night, and that's from Martin Luther King Jr. Figured I did one before, did one after, so we'll give him a fourth after. But this is also one of my favorite quotes, and that is, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of convenience and comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. And with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Council members? We have Councilman Williams.
Move to approve.
Motion for approval, Councilman Williams. Councilmember Butler Barlow.
Second?
Second from Councilmember Butler Barlow. Any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, kindly call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett? Councilmember Butler Barlow? Councilmember Johnson? Councilmember Williams? Councilmember Wright? Vice Mayor Ward? Mayor Duman?
Yes,
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
this meeting stands adjourned.